Disneyland on the final day of the 2011 World Weightlifting Championships, the fifth time that France has hosted this prestigious event. It's been a really good week. Crowded houses, great lifting, really good competition building up to next year's London 2012 Olympic Games. I'm David Goldstrom, and alongside me as ever is Randy Strossen from Iron Mind. And today is all about Super Sunday, the super heavyweights. First the women, later the men. But today, coming up in just about a minute from now, will be the introduction to the women's 75 kilo class. We have 9 contenders in the competition, and as you can see, we have another crowded house. This is the scene backstage here at the 75 super heavyweight, so this is over 75 kilos. And the countries involved here: Russia, Azerbaijan, Ecuador, Ukraine, Armenia, Kazakhstan, Samoa, and Japan and China. And also to be in the reckoning for at least a high-ranking place, Nigeria. But here is the complete start list, and you can see the variation with body weights there. Most notably, Olga Korobka, 166.60 kilos, way out front in terms of sheer body weight ahead of everybody else. And look at the contrast between Yulia Dovyal from Azerbaijan, 87 kilos, and also Hripsimi Khoshudian. Let's meet them. Here is the world and European champion, Tatiana Kashirina, from the suburbs of Moscow. Next up, it is Yulia Dovyal. She used to lift for the Ukraine. These days, she represents Azerbaijan. From Ecuador, it's Oliva Nieves Arroyo. She is the Pan American Games champion for this season. And next, representing the Ukraine, it's welcome back to Olga Korobka, who's been recovering from a thigh injury, and we haven't seen her since Minsk in 2010. Hripsimi Khoshudian from Armenia, 4th in the World Championships, but 2nd in Europe, one of the lighter contenders. And now representing Kazakhstan, Alexandra Aboneva, 3rd in this season's Asian Championships. 3 to go, and all the way from Samoa, Eli Opologi, the Commonwealth Games champion, 26 years of age. Representing Japan, this is Mami Shimamoto, 4th in those Asian Championships. And completing the lineup, representing China, it's Zhu Lulu, the Asian Championship runner-up this season, 23 years of age, and she actually is the youngest of all the 9 contenders. Well, most importantly, I might need to tell you about a young woman from Nigeria, Mariam Usman, who was the runner-up, who set the best total in the B group. As you see now, the past winners of this prestigious title, most notably there, the multi-world and Olympic champion, Yang Mirang. And sadly, she not able to be here to compete. There you have the world records. Kashirina, the snatch and total world record holder, set those records in Kazan in the spring, in April of this year. Well, this is always a fascinating competition. Kashirina, very much the big favorite here as we look forward now to the first half of the competition, the snatch, just about a minute away. As I said, in the B group, Mariam Usman of Nigeria, who was the silver medalist in the Commonwealth Games, actually produced a lifetime best. 117 kilos in the snatch, 156 in the clean and jerk, for a total of 273. And when I look at some of the totals, Randy, that have been entered here, 273 is going to be up and at 'em.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of depth at the top here. Isn't this interesting? Warming up facing the wall rather than looking at the other competitors. little psyching out, or maybe trying to reinforce the concentration. But yeah, David, I think there'll be a couple women off the front here, and then I think it's going to maybe be a little bit of a battle for third place here, huh?
Absolutely. That's where I think the 273 may come into play, because the highest total entered here, 300 kilos by Tatiana Kasharina. Well, you might have thought that was it as you look at the champion, but it was actually Zhu Lulu of China who's entered 315. So all set to go in the women's super heavyweight. Sit back with Randy Strossen and myself, David Goldstrom, and enjoy this one as the first contender comes out here. And this is representing Kazakhstan, Alexandra Aboneva, 105 kilos on the bar. Well, made it look like a featherweight.
Almost power snatches this, but then very slow to stand up, didn't you think, for an opener? Got the game face on. He catches this very high, thighs about parallel to the platform. We've had a sea of red ink here, missed lifts early in the week. Things started to change last night in a positive way. I'd like to see that trend maybe continue today.
Yeah, she's capable of at least 110, if not 113, edging towards 115. So it's a pretty conservative start on 105 kilos there for Aboneva. University silver medalist, Universiade silver medalist this season in Shenzhen. But weighing in today, Aboneva at 102 kilos. Now, that means she's put on 5 kilos since the Universiade competition for today. And it's going to be the Ecuadorian, the Pan American Games champion. And pretty steady on her body weight, round about the 95 kilo mark. Some people think that there ought to be some sort of handicap system here. How can you possibly have a lifter who weighs in at sort of 90 or thereabouts facing a lifter of 160 plus kilos?
People have also suggested maybe having a maximum body weight for similar reasons.
Well, there have been some great champions in the past, and we might talk about one or two of those, but this is 107 kilos for the Ecuadorian, absolutely on what she posted as her opening attempt. Nicely done.
Really. He just threads the needle on that. Makes him look effortless.
And this is what I would expect on all first attempts, really. I would expect the whole field to come out and make attempt number one, to be honest. And
she not only makes the lift, she makes the lift look good. She makes the lift look easy.
Yeah, she's a multi-winner of Pan American Championships. She was 6th in the world last year, 258, and the Ecuadorian this season looking for an extra couple of kilos. Now, Shimamoto for Japan. Japan really developing their women's team. Right at the early end of the early part of the championships, we saw Hiromi Miyake do pretty well in the women's 53 class.
And also, David, one of the Asian countries where the women's lifting program is stronger than the men's, don't you think?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so
totally.
It's kind of interesting, you know, as a cultural thing. Pumps the hips, separates the bar from the platform, accelerates it, overhead, waits for the down signal, good lift.
All about business out here, as it should be, but quite bubbly and smiley backstage. And the bar going up to 109. Now, just to whet your appetite, Kasharina has said, I will not move out of my chair until the bar reaches 140 kilos. Olga Korobka on her comeback. They are a little nervous, the Ukrainian squad backstage. They're 125. Hripsime Khoshurian. She could be the Shiggy Chef of the women's division, because,
moral victor.
Well, the Armenians have had a rotten week, basically, and they've got two, one in this class and one in the men's super heavyweight class, and this is redemption day for their squad. It hasn't come off for them, and it's quite surprising, actually. Now, Aboneva, who looked a bit concerned, coming out for a 5-kilo increase here. Better than the first one.
Yeah, also fairly close to a power snatch. Just gets a little lower. You'll notice her feet go out a little bit wider, and that just helps her get greater depth, sink down a little bit lower in the squat.
And she was 5th in the World Championships last year, and totaled up 260, and she's...
See how high she catches that? Nowhere close to a low bottom position. Could be a combination of strength and possibly also lack of flexibility.
Shimamoto not wasting no time. She's got, this is a characteristic of women's weightlifting. You often get a class like this where they almost take their lifts at lightning speed. And that's a good attempt from Shimamoto. So,
yeah, you know, it's like to see the strength continue. Pumps the hips, help get that dynamic start, sinks the putt. Notice how low her bottom position was. Full squat snatch.
Now, what I'm looking for is a real push on the third attempts here, Randy. When they come out again, Aboneva and also Shimamoto to really push themselves for personal bests.
I want to see some white lights, though, following that.
Absolutely, but, you know...
Not just to push the success.
I want to see the success as well, but at the same time, you know, what you don't want is a totally conservative competition and then Casuarina just comes in and wipes it all up.
Absolutely, you can't coast. I mean, you're not here to coast. You're here to get team points, if nothing else. Even if it's not individual glory, you're here to help the team. So are you satisfied with the 112?
Not really, no. I'd be hoping that she was closer to 115, to be honest.
Yeah. 5-kilo increase, though, still nothing to sneeze at.
It is, but then it's a question of, was 107, you know, could she have come in for a higher starter to bridge the gap a little bit more? You know, she could have come in for, say, 109 and then gone 112 and then 115.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, that's all down to her. But she has done 115.
Well, they're good. So what do you think, 115 on the third? Is that going to be the call?
Well, I really hope so, yeah.
We have a phone line to the warm-up room. We could pass along a suggestion.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Look at this. Very nice. Look, she doesn't have to waltz around with this when she sinks and hits the bottom position. Sticks this lift very well.
Yeah, what I was really getting at was, you know, I'd like her actually to be going beyond 115. So to get beyond 115, she would have needed to start at 109. Now, that looked relatively straightforward in terms of weight. So we'll just have to wait and see. And this is Shimamoto coming out on 113 for her third attempt. And this, to her credit, will be a new personal best attempt. So let's hope she gets this. She was 8th in the world last year, only totaled up 252, of which 112 kilos came from the first half of the competition. Shimamoto looking for 260 minimum from today's event. Come on. Good stuff. Not a problem. 3 out of 3. Little smile.
Nice run of successes here.
Yeah.
You'd like these lifts to be consistent, executing the same way each time you go out there. Maybe you pull a little harder, maybe you sink a little lower as the weight goes up. Good lift.
Yeah, over the years, great lifters in this women's super heavyweight. The one that still sticks in my memory, the World Championship victory of Ding Meiyong of China in Athens in '99, and then the Olympic title in 2000. Okay, she was doing 285, 300, and we know that's then, it's not now. The whole sport's moved on in this division. But at the time, she was a wonderfully athletic super heavyweight. You know, she wasn't in the 160 kilos.
Right. Yeah, we've had that, and then we kind of had, you know, a subclass of the, you know, more the sumotori type.
Well, we've had a few Bulgarians who've moved to Azerbaijan. This is slightly different. This is a Ukrainian who's moved across there and didn't total, I'm afraid, in the European Championships because the permit for her to lift didn't come through. So the last time we've seen her lift, she represented the Ukraine. She was 7th in the world.
Well, she wasted no time over the bar. You might even say was she maybe a little hasty as far as getting set up. Good left head walk forward with Invictus to get it under control. Hook grip, that's to hang on to the bar. Second pull at about hip height, sticks the tongue out because she knows she's got the lift.
Yeah, we're just 2 kilos short at this particular moment of the Nigerian who lifted in the B group. I apologize that we didn't show you those lifts. It's a pity because Marianne Usman lifted 117 kilos in the clean and jerk. And you can see here she's got a good chance of maybe taking 1 or 2 scalps. Now, Aboneva, 115. Oh, come on. That was so close, Randy.
Yeah, she's basically almost trying to power snatch all of these. She's a little awkward in the bottom position. You'll see that she has even a wider stance. That's an attempt to get lower. She's not comfortable, I don't think, in terms of committing to a full squat snatch. Watch, she's going to cut the height a little bit, and as a result, she's going to lose this lift. Too bad. First miss in this class. We really got to enjoy a lot of good lifts.
I think you were spot on there. There was just that sense of, I don't quite believe I can do this. And, of course, that's fatal.
You know, I was going to say they're within range of 116, which I thought would please you, and in fact, they're going after it. Because it's only 4 kilo increase in the second attempt.
Yeah, but it's a personal best.
Exactly. No, that's why I said that's great. You were hoping they'd hit that number, and I want to say it was achievable even with their conservative start. Anyway, here it is. Now she's just got to make it.
Well, fingers crossed. We know she can do 215, although it hasn't been achieved in recent times. I mean, in the Pan Americans, 113. They say it was quite a strong Pan American competition, but 216, this is 3 kilos above.
Being really careful placing those hands for that hook grip.
10 seconds.
Look at that.
Come on, come on.
She did that for you, David. She took her time, was very careful setting up on the grip. Essential. Takes a lot of strength because you're going to be pulling really hard. Boy, she really nailed that, huh?
Yeah, I'm really pleased about that. You know, it's 116, but still below the Nigerian in the B group. Got to say that. You know, she's lifted out 3 attempts out of 3, so pleased for that. And also, of course, Shimamoto had 3 out of 3.
But a great example of the point that you were making earlier, David. They raised the bar just a bit higher for her, and then she cleared it.
Yeah. So here's the very speedy Yulia Dovha, 28 years of age now.
A little rough in the opener. Oh, better but similar. I mentioned earlier, you'd like each lift to be the same. I mean, you don't want one groove for one lift and something completely different on the next lift. And you can see her pattern. She wasn't quite as fast as far as launching the lifts. Characteristic step forward for her might just be what she does on every single snatch. But most importantly, it's a successful lift.
Well, what really is interesting to see how she's prospered in Azerbaijan, having moved across there. I mean, last year when she lifted for the Ukraine, she got 3 out of 6, 257. She has posted an entry total of 275, which is a very chunky increase if she can achieve it. And next up, it's going to be Eli Opologi, the Commonwealth Games champion. Here she is, all the way from the South Pacific. The 2 main islands of Samoa. Apia is the capital, where she hails from, on the island of Upolu. And Opologi competed in the World Championships last year, got 265, but only made 2 out of 6. Those are not good percentages. She got 4 out of 6 in the Commonwealth Games, and that's at least where she's got to be now. So 120, this will take the lead away from Mariam Usman of Nigeria, if she gets this. So Nigeria in the lead, Samoa challenging. And Ellie represents this growing expansion of weightlifting right across the South Pacific.
Well, not because it looked heavy for her. I mean, she lifts this thing off the platform and get it started as if it's balsa wood, but that's about it. You know, the bar's not going to levitate anymore on its own. She just doesn't finish this. Watch. She just, you know, you need to commit at that point, fly under that bar, stretch the bar to lock those arms out overhead. She's got a really soft finish on this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else is going to want 120 either, so she's got to follow herself now. And, okay, we can allow over the course of the competition maybe one, maximum 2 failures, but we want to see them at the end of the snatch, and we want to see them at the end of the clean jerk where she's really pushing herself. So the fact that she's got to come out on 120 again now just sort of limits her a little bit. She did lift 125 kilos in the Commonwealth Games, where she actually totaled up 285, and that was a, you know, a decent total, I have to say.
Just a reminder, too, the 120 is still just a bit below the best from the B session, right?
No, it's not. It's 3 kilos above it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had a 121. No, you're right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was missed. An attempt at 121 was unsuccessful.
We've got a 118, so Yulia Dovhal of Azerbaijan is actually in the lead by a kilo at the moment. And now Ellie. Oh, come on.
Well, see, there's an extension of what I was pointing out on the first lift. I said she was soft on the finish. She didn't commit to going under. Well, here she didn't commit at all. She just did a pull with this, you know, just a high pull and then quit.
It's a long way from the South Pacific. This is your day.
Yeah, it's the World Championships, you know, it's the lead up to the London Olympics. You know, you want everything firing. But this is, you know, where you see the mental part of this game. You know, it's not just physical. Now, I'm curious, you know, when you have a moment, why she went to Azerbaijan. We know about the Bulgarians, what their motivation was.
Well, I can speculate. That's all I can do. And I think it's really the fact that the Azerbaijan Federation have determined to actually offer a really good program for women's weightlifting. The Bulgarians were obviously hugely dissatisfied with what was going on in their country because of the complete disarray of their federations. So there's a completely logical reason why they actually went across, and like Zlatan Vanev as well, going across to coach there. And what I'm speculating is that, you know, maybe, you know, they've attracted Yulia because maybe she wasn't feeling that she was going anywhere particular, and being in a women's group in a country that was actually going to put some resource behind it would actually serve her well.
Resource was maybe the key word. I was wondering if they're well funded, and it sounds as if the program is.
Now, this French crowd is doing what they've done all week. This is a woman in trouble, and they want to help her out. So she's got 1,500 people on her side in this hall. Oh.
Okay, so that's halfway between the first attempt and the second attempt. Really a limp effort. The snatch has got to be crisp. This was limp.
And well, Ellie, you've got to be sad for her, because look at the disappointment there. Look at the journey that she's made, and frankly, you know, whatever it was in her head, it never got switched on, as you see Hripsime Khoshudyan of Armenia. Hripsime, very decent lifter in the 75 kilo class, and felt that she needed to move up to compete, but it's a while till we see her. It's now Yulia Dovhal to go to 121 kilos. So this for 3 out of 3. And it's 2 out of 3, and she's left on 118. You think she might be just rushing these things a bit?
Well, I don't know. I actually thought that looked good at the beginning. She wastes no time over the bar. One advantage is she doesn't get psyched out. I think maybe it's easy to say, but if she had just been able to sink down a little bit lower, she would have been had an easier time getting under the bar, locking it out. Doesn't matter. That's speculation. And here comes Hripsime.
Hripsime, the European silver medalist and the under-23 medalist as well. 4th in the world last year. She missed the bronze medal by a whole bunch of kilos, more than 20. But she's a medalist at 75 kilos. More of that in a moment. 125 to open. Come on. It was a little rough, but she saved it, and she's on her way.
Right arm had some movement, yeah. Center referee, wise person that she is, agrees with me.
I was straight looking. I wasn't actually looking at the television monitor. I was straight looking down from where we're sitting, Randy, which, as we've said, is quite away from the stage. So I'd like to see her. Yeah, I can see just what you were looking at there on the right arm.
I was watching the live platform on that. Just a little break.
Just like to see that from the front again. It would be really good to get another replay in there.
Challenge for her here really is to show that she should be in the supers, and that by going up in bodyweight classes that she's going to add some weight to what she's lifting. Hasn't quite made that transition yet. We expect it to take some time for her to grow into this class, as it were.
Yeah, she was European champion at 75 kilos in 2007, which coincidentally was in France on the stage at Strasbourg.
Talk about growing into one's class. Here we are, 166 kilos of Olga, right?
Olga Korobka, who's been off the competition stage, recovering from a hip injury. No surgery, it's just been physio all the time. Olga, who was the Olympic silver medalist in Beijing behind Chang Mirang, and the European silver medalist in Minsk the last time we saw her. Coached by Vasily Kulak and supervised by the great Dennis Gottfried. And that will help to clear their nerves.
She's one of the few women supers who really dwarfs the barbell and just towers over this thing. Nice lift. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. And
it's nice to have slow motion because the entire snatch is run off in less than a second, and it's difficult to follow everything that's going on with just your eye. In slow motion, you can see all the little sub-movements that make up the lift.
When she won the European Championships in Strasbourg, just for interest, 293. That was really at the height of her powers then. In recent years, we've seen her really more in the 270s, and she's actually posted 280 today. So she's in that sort of middle of the range. Now, Hripsime to come back. 5 kilos going on the bar here for Hripsime. And this will be a very good indication of the work they've done since April in Minsk. In Kazan.
Yeah, I don't think she ever snatched 130 as a 75, did she? I don't think she did.
No.
So this is what we'd hope for. Dislocated arm. Yeah, it's too bad. She almost had. When you lose the bar behind, if you hang on too long, the arm will either break at the elbow or dislocates. They're screening her from the audience. Some people go into shock and you barely hear anything from them, and for some, it's a vocal death. And they might even be able, if it's just a dislocation, they might even pop the arm back in backstage.
Yeah.
Dr. Shahabi from Iran is not here this year. He has the world record, he's told me, for putting arms back in place backstage. Up at around 24 or so last time I heard from him. Really unfortunate. You know, they needed her to get some points for the team. And
well, I'm off to a good start. Actually, forget about the points for the team. I'm just really, really upset for her because it's incredibly painful. And I'm surprised they're putting her on a stretcher, actually, because normally you can get them up and walk them off, which is...
Well, they're taking a long time to get her out of there.
Yeah.
David, I think, you know, personal tragedy, true. To me, really the most crushing thing about this is that we were about to see her make a breakout lift. Okay?
Yeah.
She moved up in bodyweight classes to hit new territory. This was beyond what she had ever done in segment. The lift was looking good until she lost it. Really unfortunate about the arm. I'm willing to bet she'll be back.
Oh, I think she will be, but, you know...
Not tonight, of course.
No, I mean, I just think it's really unfortunate. It just hasn't been Armenia's week in any shape or form. And that, you know, that just is another nail today in... And, you know, I mean, they haven't given you a replay of it because they probably think it's too horrible to watch again, but we've seen those a lot of times. And as you say, it's quite possible that the doctors, within a matter of minutes, will pop that back if they can. And... you know, she will make a full recovery.
She could be back for London. The other significance here is that this is going to change the podium race in a significant way, because she was someone I think who would have been in contention for, you know, maybe the bronze medal.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's in there with Korobka for sure, because Korobka's got uncertainties because she's been off the stage for a while. She competed in the nationals, but that was nothing special. And
I wonder why. They're announcing that she's not taking her third attempt.
yeah.
Gosh, that was a surprise.
And
Olga's up next.
Yeah, Olga, who's 4 kilos going on the bar. And 131 kilos on the bar for Olga Korobka. And second attempt, I'm really disappointed because, as you rightly say, you know, some of the real fight of this competition has just disappeared with Fripsima. And particularly when you get a failure like that.
Yeah. Just to follow up on that for 1 second, she's one of the lifters that we like because she has a nice presence out there, and you can see this fire. So, you know, our best wishes to her complete and speedy recovery.
Well, it's not that just about her presence, Randy. I mean, it's about the fact that she's worked really hard now since the Europeans in Kazan. I'm not saying all the other lifters haven't, but you put all that effort and work in, you know, virtually 6 days a week, and you come out and it goes wrong for you in a big way like that. And the other problem is that, you know, when you do come back out on stage and you are facing those weights again, you can't actually keep it out of your mind what actually happened.
Well, I think the good lifters, Steve, but what I mean by that presence is you can sense some fire in some lifters. You can sense dynamism. Some come out and they're placid, or maybe they look like they're scared. And she's none of those things. And I think that's probably what drives her in the training, and then we get to see the manifestation of it when she comes out to compete. Now, Olga, not to take anything away from her, she's going to come out. It's going to be much more stolid sort of presence, and not like, you know, great emotions that she's showing. Might be a lot going on internally.
Well, she's won the bronze medal already, whether she lifts this 131 or not, because remember, there are 2 lifters, the Chinese lifter Zhu Lulu, right, and Tatiana Kasharina, the world champion, yet to come. But I think Korobka was always looking tonight to have a happy return to the competition stage.
Well, give her credit. I was sure she'd saved it. She worked for it. I don't know. I would have bet that she had it at that point. Let's see what goes wrong if we see slow motion in the bottom position. There's going to be a little adjustment, I think, to the back, and then ultimately she's going to lose at the front. Maybe she overcorrects in the bottom position.
Another important point, we haven't seen her picking up 130+ kilos now for 4 years. Korobka, who won in Strasbourg, and since then...
Watch what goes on the bombs. Bar's tending to drift back. She's trying to stabilize it. She corrects and corrects a little bit too much. If she kept standing up, she would have made it.
So out on the stage and at the bar, the first attempt now for Zhu Lulu. 135 kilos.
First time I've seen her lift. Watch the speed when she has to reverse directions and move under the bar.
And she is the Asian champion silver medalist. Interestingly enough, she was beaten by her own teammate Meng Su-ping, who's a very good super heavyweight.
Very smooth. To see she actually jumps back a little bit, characteristic of some lifters. Nice opener. Looks like she's following herself. No. Oh, so she's going to take a big jump because Kasharina is coming out now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty logical, actually, that she'd take 5 kilos. I don't think that's an issue for her. You know, 135 is what she was lifting, but she's making progress. So I think it's interesting to see what the Chinese can put in here. Kasharina, the world and European record holder, coached by Vladimir Krasnov, and opening up for this first attempt on 140 kilos.
This is the world record holder in this lift, so you're watching the best.
And she's opening up 6 kilos short of her own record, which she set in Kazan on the Russian stage, or the Tatarstan stage, in April.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea how quickly she's developed, she first broke the world record with 141 kilos, and that was only last year, right?
So Kasharina, who lives in the Moscow suburb of Nogorsk, well on her way, and body weight now comes into play because she is considerably lighter than the Chinese lifter.
Just like a piston, up and down. I mean, this bar could go any place, but she makes it go exactly where she wants it. Nice lift.
And another interesting factor about Tatiana is that her success has brought her reward as well. Her monthly salary is something of the order of about $15,000.
Really?
And an Olympic gold for her would be worth a bonus of at least $100,000.
Yeah.
So, you know, for not everybody, in fact for the minority, but for the few who are very good, there are some really tantalizing rewards.
Yeah, that monthly stipend sounds, that's a lot higher than I would have predicted. And the 100,000 sounds lower than what I guessed, but
there are other good treats that come her way as well. But this is Zhu out now for 140. As you said, we don't know a lot about her, so we know that this is better than what she did in the Asian Championships. And look at this, 8 kilos up.
Big jump, but she smoked that opener.
I sense a world record attempt.
Yeah, this might be interesting. We have 2 women going after that world record.
Well, it's not that, but I think, you know, that was the gauntlet thrown down by Zhu to Tatiana.
You see her jumping back again a little bit. Not what you'd coach for, but some lifters just seem to do that naturally as part of their style. She's very quick, very consistent, big lift.
Now, where's Tatiana's posted 145 for her second attempt, so she'd probably be pretty keen to put Zhu in, but I can't believe, no, Zhu's not going to go for 144. It's got to be Tatiana.
Yeah, just a reminder, world record, 148 kilos.
146 kilos.
Okay, can't read my own writing, or I'm on.
And Tatiana, only 20, still in junior ranks. She's younger, she's lighter, but she's the greater achiever at the moment. But it's perfectly clear that Zhu has come here to really take her on. And Tatiana just asking for a bit of peace and quiet. She doesn't want the noisy auditorium. Best part of a minute to go. So 145. This is a challenge here, being so close to the world record.
Boy,
Very well, she saved it.
She did indeed.
So, by my reckoning, Randy, the bar has to go to 147 kilos. Because Zhu is heavier anyway. She could put 146. But surely she's going to go for 147, because is she going to guess that Tatiana can go?
But she got rocked back pretty well on her heels on that attempt. Say, the 146, that current world record, that was set in Kazan earlier this year, right?
Yeah, I know, I've already said that.
Yeah. No, but I'm just confirming that. So, again, shows that she's consistently able to lift in that range.
Okay, so 146 is the extra kilo that Zhu needs to go ahead in first place in the snatch. So they've made a calculation. They made a calculation about Zhu, and they made a calculation about Tatiana. Well, it does make you wonder why they didn't go for 147.
Yeah, well, the strategy, David, always is first the goal, then the record. But look, she has signaled that she could break it. Now, the body weight point that we talked about earlier, and you said, okay, you know, one idea is, you know, handicapping the system. Well, I don't think that's likely, but let's talk about this body weight. Okay, that lifter weighed 133 kilos and change, right?
Yeah, she's the best part of 35 kilos heavier.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is interesting because Katarina could have come out on 146, matched up and just done it on body weight, but she's decided that she's going to go for a new snatch world record. This is junior and senior. No matter what she's achieved already, this is a big moment. Very steady in that bottom position, much better than the second attempt, but in that regard...
Yeah, interesting call. Certainly there's a cash bonus, I would imagine, substantial for the world record, but I think the real motivation probably was to get a little bit more distance from the other competitors, actually shaky in this bottom position. Look at this, she's just quivering. She's not going back and forth, but she's going side to side, and the amount of weight overhead is making her just shake. No. But she gets control of this. This is what's important. She's strong enough, she has enough reserve, she can stand up. Boy, she had a fight for this.
Yeah, but that's why I said this was a better attempt than the second one, where she was all over the place.
Well, she's really getting hammered by this. I mean,
yeah, I know, but come on, it's a new world record. Yeah. You know, she's entitled to shiver and shake. She's 20 years of age, and you're saying, well, no, it's, you know, it's not as good. Yeah. I'm saying she's taken on, you know, on a competition stage something she's not done before.
I'm saying the analysis isn't correct. If you're shaking that much with that kind of weight overhead, I don't know what's going to happen to the clean and jerk. But point is, she adjusted, she stabilized, she made the lift, she got a world record, she increased her lead. Good job.
Yeah, but it's only a kilo over the Chinese, so fascinating to see what happens. Korobka, you can see way back. Look at that, 20 kilos off in third place. And there, poor... So the first lifter out for the clean and jerk here, and this is the lady from Ecuador, Nive Arroyo, who comes forward in 7th place at the halfway stage. 3 good attempts, 116, and that 116 earning the Ecuadorian a new personal best. And again, I would say, Randy, on the evidence of what we've seen from her, you know, a somewhat conservative opener again. You know, I would have, you know, she is someone who can go 145, 146. But given that this is the World Championships, I'd sort of hope that she might actually open on 140.
Yeah, you threw the towel in early on her, right, on the snatch, but then happily she did just what you had hoped she would. She just took a different path to reach there. She's very workmanlike, don't you think? And that probably plays in with this conservative opening strategy.
And you've got some news from backstage about Hripsimi and that dislocated elbow for sure or not?
No, they wouldn't commit. I mean, they were tending to say they thought so, but she's still back there. They'll be bringing her to hospital, X-ray or maybe possibly an MRI. I'm not an MD. And only then will they be able to say absolutely for certain whether there's, say, tendon damage, whether it's just a dislocation, or whether, in fact, she might have even broken a bone. But she's under good medical care. You know, they've stabilized her. So we'll wish her well. Really unfortunate. It happens sometimes in weightlifting, and if you can't get rid of the bar when it's drifting behind you in the snatch, that's when all the stress in the elbow can cause that kind of injury.
Yeah, they've got a very good doctor behind there, one of the Polish doctors, Jaroslav Krywanski, who's in a way, sadly, no stranger to that sort of injury. Now, Shimamoto coming out for 140. Now, this is an interesting start.
Elbows look quite low to me in the clean. Did you think so too? Or?
I was worried about the jerk overhead there, but she's got 3 white lights.
I was worried she was going to lose this clean. Let's watch this in slow motion. Looked to me like the elbows were well down, making it easier for her to lose the bar when she's trying to rack it. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Drive up with a little rebound on that right arm, huh?
Well, I was concerned about the left arm, but actually looking at that on the replay, it's fine. It's fine, and good for her. And Aboneva now coming out for Kazakhstan to open up on 141, which is absolutely to her personal plan. .141, really needs to pile the weight on if she wants to get to that entry total of 261, which she aspires to reach. She's done 260 in her life. That was actually in the World Championships last year. So if she wants to improve on that now, she's definitely going to have to take a 5-kilo increase for the second attempt, I would say, and then go for it. Really like the approach here of Niev of Ecuador. She's really concentrated. Shimon Barak just beyond her there, one of 2 technical controllers on duty. Shimon from Israel, which next year will host the Under-23 European Championships in Eilat, and the Junior European Championships at the same time. A year or so ago, they very successfully hosted the Youth Championships. And little tip, if you've never been to Petra in Jordan, go down to Eilat, and that's a way to unfussily go and see one of the great sights of the world. Not seen that, have you? Never been to Petra?
No, not.
There's something to whet your appetite there.
Yeah.
Completely irrelevant to what we're about to see now. 143 kilos for Nive Arroyo. She really gets psyched up for it, and that was predictably harder, but she's delivered, Randy.
Yeah, I would say deliberate more than psyched up. I mean, she strikes me as she's keeping all the emotion inside. I mean, we don't see the stalking tiger in her. Maybe she's just focusing all the energy on the lift itself. Look at this. Kind of gets settled in the bottom position, works a little bit to stand up. Not like overly hard, and then nice jerk.
What do you reckon? If you were a coach, how many more kilos do you think you'd put on the bar next time? She's got 5 out of 5 so far.
Yeah, I'd call up and ask her favorite British commentator what he would like to see in present form. What you need for a PR?
I'll let you know after Shimamoto. Second attempt, 144. Very deep split, but she's got it, and that's a new personal best in clean and jerk for Shimamoto.
She's already rotating a little bit counterclockwise as she gets set up for the jerk, and continues in that direction as she goes through the jerk.
And these women may not be contending for medals at this particular moment, or indeed in this particular competition, but they are setting new marks. They are hitting new targets.
Lifter isn't required to face the judges at the end of the lift, only at the beginning. So that's fine if she rotates, as long as she gets stable and waits for the down signal.
Well, my guess, you asked me about Nive Arroyo from Ecuador. I reckon she takes her second attempt at 145, which is the weight that Yulia Dovhal is whizzing in to take here for Azerbaijan.
Very quick tempo once again. It took just a hair longer to get set up as far as foot position goes, but then wastes no time going through the actual steps of the lift.
Whatever it is that's happening for her in Baku is certainly an improvement on anything that she was delivering from Ukraine.
Really punches through on the jerk.
So 145.
What do you think? Is that what you wanted?
No, this is exactly what I wanted, actually, because she's sitting on 259, and the 2 extra kilos will take her a kilo over her proposed target, but more importantly, it will put her into the 260s for the first time in her career.
History, she went up to 147. Okay, Yulia's coming out, or no?
Yep.
Nope, another change. Now what's taking place is the coaches are making decisions about what weights they want, and there's a lot of jockeying taking place in the warm-up room. And we've seen 2 changes now in rapid order.
Well, there are 2 things. There's the personal challenge. There's what they know from the training hall work over the past week. There's also the question of qualification for the London 2012 Olympic Games. A higher place gets more points. More points gives you a chance of getting a place. And Aboneva now, 147.
Point after the second.
6 kilo increase. Well done.
She looks more comfortable to me in the jerk phase of the lift than the clean. Clean, you can see again, very wide foot spacing. In fact, the right foot's going to start to turn over inward. Doesn't look beautiful, but gets the job done, and then she handles the jerk quite routinely. Elbows up high, dips, drives.
Well, 147 kilos, so this was more than I was proposing. It's a couple of kilos more, so 4 kilos up. So this is for 263 total and 6 out of 6. But this is the real question that our coaches have asked of her now. The clean is going to be, I think, the key element here. Good. Oh, there's a press out, I would say, on the left arm, Brandy.
Well, shoulder movement.
Well, 2-1, and the left-hand referee that was looking at the left arm.
Yeah, I think it's more shoulder rotation, David, but sometimes it can be really borderline because you can have rotation at the shoulder joint, and if the arm stays extended, it's still going to be good. Let's see from this angle.
Can't see from this angle because I was looking at the left arm. You need one from the front. Here we go.
Right arm. I was looking at the right arm, and that looked to me like a lot. Well, maybe she got a gift.
Well, she got it, and doesn't matter. It's her lift. She's got it. She's got a new personal best. She's in the 260s.
You know, watching that again, there's a lot of movement. It is side to side. The shoulders are moving. Both arms maybe looked a little soft.
But she's there. She's in the bronze medal position overall, second in the clean and jerk, and sorry, what do I mean? Bronze medal position overall, 5th in the clean, and in fact, that lift has been overturned, I think. It has been overturned.
Jury didn't like it.
Jury didn't like it. More of that in a moment. This is Shimamoto, 3rd attempt.
Same characteristics we saw last time. She's rotating counterclockwise, deep split. Nice solid jerk.
Yeah, and that is 6 out of 6. And yeah, just going. Go on, Randy.
Here's this rotation. Watch the feet going counterclockwise, and she'll continue this movement in the jerks. Some lifters naturally do that. I would say more tend to go counterclockwise than clockwise.
And just to reiterate that Oliva Saladina Neve Arroyo of Ecuador, the good lift that was given by 2-1 to her for 147 kilos has been reversed by the jury, and that's a failure, and it leaves her on 259. So we were right to question it, Randy.
Yeah, well, we said it was a gift. It didn't stay in her hands very long.
No, it didn't. But 260 for Shimamoto, that's right on the money. That's what she entered, that's what she delivered. And now Olga Korobka opening up here on 150 kilos. She had planned to open on 155, but with the injury to Khurshidyan, the pressure's off.
In there for a total. That's the first job tonight, first task.
Yeah, but she's really got nobody pushing her. That's the problem. You know, there she is in complete no man's land. You know, Khurshidyan, the fight between her and Korobka, you know, particularly with the huge weight differential of something like 70+ kilos, would have been fascinating to watch.
There's many bodyweight classes that spans in women's lifting 70 kilos, right?
Yeah. Well, I haven't actually done the maths. If you say it's 66 and Khurshidyan was 90.08, so that's 66. That's actually 76 kilos.
Oh no, she's passing out. What's going on there? I think it's not that it was too heavy for her. Hit the windpipe. I think that's what's going on. Let's see if she's staggering around when she racks the bar. Got a slow motion on this. Here comes Bart. Yeah, see, she's wobbling. And she just drops the bar. She knows she's not going to be able to jerk it, and rather than getting injured.
See, Aboneva can't fight with Korobka because she was actually 17 kilos down on her at the first half. But, you know, she's on her own particular path here. At the moment, Aboneva's got 257 kilos. If she gets this now, she'll be on 260. And again, that'll be very close to what she posted. And Aboneva 2-1 in her favor, but providing that stands, it gives her exactly the same total that she achieved last year.
I don't think we've seen her demonstrate this much emotion before this moment tonight. Look at this. Really a big smile over after. Good jerk. You know, she doesn't seem to have super strong legs. Quick feet, though, and splits gets under that jerk, and nice lift.
And you did say you thought that she was much more comfortable with the clean and jerk, and the statistics bear that out because she's down this year on the snatch and up on the clean and jerk.
And the jerk phase in particular doesn't look as difficult for her, as unnatural as it were.
So Yulia Dovhal. And again, Dovhal at the halfway stage behind Korobka, 9 kilos down. Oh.
Well, after the second clean, she was passing out. She dropped the bar. Was fine as far as wind on this third, but wasn't close on the jerk.
Now, that's considerably down on what she aspired to achieve. Having said that about Yulia, that is 6 kilos up on last year.
That second attempt might have thrown her a bit off her course.
Now, Korobka's going to have to lift out here because Kasharina has posted 175 and Zhu Lulu has posted 170. Now, Korobka's nowhere near that, so she's just going to have to take her second and third attempts here. You're looking at Zhu Lulu. Olga, who's actually a member of the National Olympic Committee. Fairly straightforward.
Yeah, I think one of the things that doesn't make her jerk look that graceful is the leg that's splitting to the rear. Her case, the left leg, it looks like her knee is always turning in, which will also make her less stable overhead.
And there is Coach Vasily Kulat, which Kulat in Ukrainian means fist. But I think it's significant they've got the great Dennis Gottfried, super 105 lifter, if you remember. World champion in that class on a couple of occasions, the 105 kilo men, and he's now the head coach for the Ukraine.
Also a veteran, I think, of a broken or dislocated arm, if memory serves me correct. Great snatcher, Dennis Gottfried was.
So Olga goes back, and what does she want to do with the third attempt? Does she want to do the third attempt? Probably not. No, that's it. It's all over. She's secured the bronze medal. She doesn't want to go any further. And it's now down to China and Russia. Now, remember, Russia have already won 3 women's titles here at these championships.
Certainly a powerhouse in women's lifting. And
yeah.
I'm not sure I would have expected this, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Slavenko, Oksana Slavenko and Evstukina getting a world record as well. So Katerina could make it title number 4. Sadukaiva was the other winner. Yeah, they've really mopped up, sort of like 69, 75, 63, 69, 75, and now plus 75. Really dominated the heavyweight classes. So Lulu is feeling in good form here, has opened up 3 kilos more than she originally announced. Remember, she starts this second half a kilo off the pace behind Katerina. This might be the time to introduce the world record set in Goyang in Korea, or 187 kilos by Chang Mirang, who effectively, with that world record, pulled the championship out of the fire to win that on a home stage. Chang Mirang, world champion in 2005, 6, 7, and 9, and the Olympics in 2008. We're the poorer for not having her here at these championships. So Katerina going to 175, which is the announced weight for her first attempt. Now, Katerina in the European Championships did 181. That's her best competition clean and jerk. So remember, at the halfway stage, she was a kilo ahead. If she lifts this, it's 2 more kilos advantage, so that would be 3 in body weight. She'd be ahead of the Chinese lifter.
Huge miss. Huge miss for all those reasons that you just summarized. 3 kilos is not much of a cushion in the clean and jerk. I'll tell you, I was surprised at how this recovery slowed her down a little bit. And then this is the terrible miss. The jerk, it's like, you could see it. You can see in the body language. Okay, we're not saying this is the kiss of death and the door is closed at this point, but it's not a setback you would want.
No, because she's virtually obliged to come out and do this now.
And she squandered attempts. She's only got 3 attempts. Now basically at the second attempt, all she can do is try to repair the damage of the first attempt that went awry instead of being able to go ahead.
Is that a smiley moment for the Chinese? Do they think they've certainly got potentially control of this? Yeah.
This is a card that they would like to have been dealt. Yeah, because this is a battle. Yeah, you're not cheering for your competitor. I mean, you are at one level, but you're trying to win. And
yeah, because if
mishap is your good fortune.
If Katerina comes out and gets this, then fine. She goes 3 kilos ahead. Then the Chinese can go in and decide, okay, we're going to put this on the bar. This is what Lulu can do, knowing that she's still got another attempt to come. And then Kasharina's got a decision. Does she force the Chinese to go out for the third attempt and wait for a glory lift? Or does she reckon that, you know, the Chinese is overreaching herself?
The simple version is she going to have nerves of steel to just wait out the Chinese lifter? All of that contingent on making this lift first. That's the first order of business. Needs a success here.
Very interesting how she wants to quieten the audience. It doesn't work for her, noise. Noise distracts her and disturbs her.
You can see it there. Once again, it's like, I don't know what happened. You know, here it is. I don't know what happened in the first attempt. She's got to shake off the fact that she missed that opener, focused on the fact she made this. Now we're going to see how confident they are. Are they going to wait out the Chinese lifter, hold one attempt in the bag?
Well, Zhu Lulu, 181 she's posted as her next attempt. So this is the Chinese throwing down the card. Randy, 181.
Well, look, 8 kilo increase, right?
You can't sort of believe that she was the silver medalist in the Asian Championships with a 158.
Yeah, so okay, the Russians are saying, okay, fine. We'll go along with this, okay? So they move her up, move Kasharina up to 181. So the Chinese lifter's got to come out first.
But psychologically, this is a very good move by the Chinese. And I'll tell you why. The 181 actually is what Kasharina lifted in Kazan. So psychologically, it's very good because it's saying, well, okay, fine, you did 181, we'll do 81.
Well, that was the exact game that they played in the snatch, too. It's like, hey, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Look who's coming to get you. Here's Johnny.
So at the moment, she's 3 kilos down, but as Randy rightly said, this is 8 kilos up. So this is going to put the Chinese lifter 5 ahead.
Whoa. Well, I would say the clean was just a little bit harder than Kasharina's. Did you see that jerk? Shot out of a cannon. She detonates this thing.
Well, the senior world record, the announcer is sort of waffling on without actually doing the calculations here.
Boy, just absolutely punched. I'll let you sort that out. So what's on the table here, David?
Well, it's an increase of 6 kilos. 6 kilos would take her from 322 to 328. But in fact, 328 is a kilo above the senior world record. And as far as 181 is concerned, it's still 6 kilos behind the clean and jerk record.
Well,
not to be, and the title is gone.
Yeah.
The title is gone.
Very interesting. Okay, came in as the big star in this class, right? And what happened tonight? Someone I, at least, have never seen before has stolen her thunder.
Well, Zhu Lulu now has the chance to go for these records. Now, Zhu Lulu is 23, so she's going for 23 years of age, I should say. So she's going for senior records.
Total.
She's going for 185. Now, that's not a clean and jerk record. That's 2 kilos short of Chang Mirang. But the 185 goes with, of course, her 146 to give her a total of, just doing the maths here, 331, which will be a new world record by 4 kilos in the total. And she'll be taking Kasharina's title. And you can see Kasharina absolutely in bits.
You know, I'm going to say that missing that first clean and jerk was not a fluke. She was not really on top of the clean and jerk tonight. She was
Forget
extended.
that.
Yes.
Forget it. Now, let's just concentrate on this. 182 kilos on the bar for Zhu Lulu of China. And she's cleaned it. Come on. Oh, how easy was that, Randy?
Well, it was an easy prediction. We bit our tongues, but remember, this was only a 1 kilo increase over the lift that she absolutely destroyed in the jerk phase on her second attempt. This woman has got a jerk to be reckoned with.
328 kilos, a new overall women's super heavyweight world record.
And a new star in the class.
And they might not even send her. It might be somebody else.
Scary but true. You know, you're right, David. Look, we've never seen her before. Leaves the world champion and the world record holder in the total. Best ever.
And
not a bad debut.
Well, I was just thinking on Katarina, it's going to take some coming back for her.
I think, you know what? They cooked her goose. This is too much to handle. Watch this jerk now. She's going to really just push through. Look at that. Complete confidence. No hesitation. Nothing soft. All that crispness that we talked about. Flips a switch, makes the jerk, gets the lift, gets the record, gets the title.
But she is 35 kilos heavier.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter. There's no credit for being lighter.
Well, there is the confirmation in the clean and jerk, 182 kilos. What you've also got to say about Zhu Lulu, 6 out of 6. Katarina, 2 failures there, and it leaves her only with the silver, but that's absolutely what she did not come for. Olga Korobka back on the comeback trail, 157. And look at Mariam Usman from the B group, the Nigerian, up into 4th place on 156 kilos. The Commonwealth Games silver medalist. She should have been in this class. The Nigerians, somebody's got to talk to them, you know, Randy. They must stop. They must be told that they've actually got to, you know, put these women in the right class. Because in a way, it's distorting it for their lifter. It's distorting it for other lifters. And there you can see the overall there, 328, a new world record. Katarina, 322. That's a big differential there, 6 kilos. That's a margin. And Korobka, 284. It's not a bad return by any means. And Usman, 273. Okay, she is 11 kilos off the bronze medal, but nonetheless, Usman, who finished 5th in the world last year, finishes 4th this time.